All right. Good morning, everyone. My name is Rachel Von Ruden. I'm a licensed social worker and program developer for Juniper here at Metropolitan Area Agency on Aging. I'm also a master trainer in the Matter of Balance program and a leader for Tai Chi Chuan Moving for Better Balance. We're very excited to be here with you today to talk about Juniper and our partnership with BlueCross BlueShield. But before we go any further, I want to let my co-presenters introduce themselves.
Hi everyone, good morning. I'm Joan Diericks and I'm the Grants and Contract Specialist here with Juniper. And I am also a master trainer in the Living Well with Chronic Conditions and Living Well with Diabetes program.
Hi, and I'm Sequeda. I am the Wellness Engagement Specialist with the Wellness Engagement Center.
And I'm Grace Mortensen. I'm also a Wellness Engagement Specialist in the Wellness Engagement Center.
All right, so everyone is currently muted for the webinar, but we do want to encourage you to use the question and answer toolbox. If you do have questions as we're going through our material, we're going to try to respond to those questions as they come up. And also know that we are recording this webinar and it will be made available to you after our time is up today. So our goals for today's presentation. We want to, first of all, provide an overview of Juniper, who we are, and what our partnership with BlueCross BlueShield looks like. We also want to walk through the referral process for Juniper classes so that you feel comfortable with what that process looks like, and also the outreach process to the BlueCross BlueShield MSHO members, so the work that Grace and Sequoia are doing with that outbound call center. So let's dive in first with explaining what Juniper is. Juniper is a network of community organizations that are offering evidence-based health promotion classes around the state of Minnesota. These classes empower individuals to take charge of their chronic health conditions, to prevent falls, and also to stay active and live more fully. The strategy for the Juniper network is to use the 7 regional area agencies on aging in the state of Minnesota and leverage the partnerships that we have with the community organizations that are offering these classes to help build the network. Our current partners are many social service organizations as well as healthcare providers. The network in 2018 included 11 programs. Those programs are a Matter of Balance, the Arthritis Foundation Exercise Program, Chronic Pain Self-Management, Living Well with Chronic Conditions, Living Well with Diabetes, Stepping On, Tai Chi Chuan, Moving for Better Balance, and Stay Active and Independent for Life. We do have 2 programs that have actually been culturally adapted and are in Spanish as well, so that rounds out the full 11 programs. These classes are scheduled on an ongoing basis throughout the state of Minnesota. And just for you to know, we are working to be responsive to the needs of your BlueCross BlueShield members with where they are located and what programs they're interested in. We're looking to get classes going in those regions. We're good. So the member benefit. So for the BlueCross BlueShield MSHO members, they have the ability to attend any class offered as part of the Juniper network statewide, with the exception of the diabetes prevention program. And the reason being that that program is covered under Medicare, under their Medicare benefits, so it can't be covered under their MSHO benefits. They also have the benefit of the Blue Ride transportation service, which, as you probably know, is a 1 round trip per day opportunity.
And just to touch on the diabetes prevention program, anyone can attend the diabetes prevention program. They just might have to pay a small fee for going to that program, as the other 10 programs are free of charge.
Thank you, Joe.
All right, and so like Rachel had mentioned, here are the list of Juniper programs that we offer to all members. We have broken it out into 3 different categories, including Live Well, Get Fit, and Prevent Falls. In our Living Well, we have Living Well with Chronic Conditions, and as Rachel mentioned again, the culturally modified one of Tomando Control de su Salud. Living Well with Diabetes, again, a Spanish version, Programa de Manejo Personal de la Diabetes. That is, I'm not Spanish, so I don't speak Spanish, so completely wrong. Living Well with Chronic Pain and the Diabetes Prevention Program. And Get Fit, we have the Arthritis Foundation Program, stay active and independent for life. And then lastly, the preventing falls category, we have a matter of balance, Tai Chi Quan, and stepping on. And these classes are all, or a lot of these classes are offered in other languages as well as Spanish. We just call out the Spanish programs because they are culturally modified, but we do offer different languages and translation services for the different programs as well. So I'm going to dive into a little bit more detail on these programs, starting with our Living Well. We have Living Well with Chronic Conditions, Chronic Pain and Diabetes, and the 2 Spanish programs. All of these programs were developed at Stanford University, and they're all very similar to each other, with Living Well with Chronic Conditions as the base suite, and then Living Well with Diabetes and Living Well with Chronic Pain more focused on those conditions. They're all 6 weeks long, and they're led by 2 trained facilitators for 2.5 hours a week. In these classes, we'll talk about many different topics, and it's kind of just a lot of tips and tricks for how to live your best life, including physical fitness and exercise, learning how to eat the best, reading labels, understanding the plate, the My Plate. And then we do a lot of things with the mind and body, including distraction techniques. We do a meditation exercise, breathing techniques. And then we also talk a lot about communicating too. So communicating with your healthcare providers, communicating with your friends and family. And so, yeah, a lot of really beneficial topics that we cover. And then again, the Living Well with Diabetes is more focused on diabetes. So managing blood sugar, learning how to monitor that, and then Living Well with Chronic Pain as well, focused on chronic pain. One thing we've noticed with these classes, and studies have been done, is these are very, very beneficial for people with not only physical chronic conditions, but also mental health. So depression and anxiety, a lot of these tips and tricks that are taught in these classes or discussed in this class are helpful for those conditions as well. And again, if you have any questions on any of these classes or anything as we go, feel free to type in the question and answer box, and we'll answer them as we go. The Arthritis Foundation Program and Stay Active and Independent for Life, or SAIL for short, are our Get Fit programs. The Arthritis Foundation is an ongoing exercise program where the participants will meet for an hour a week. It's led by a trained facilitator, and it's beneficial for, or most beneficial for people with rheumatoid or osteoarthritis that suffer from stiffness, fatigue, or arthritis pain. And all of these classes, along with this one, are great for patients or participants that are functionally and socially limited. So it's giving them a chance to get out and talk to other people who are experiencing similar things as them, and meeting new people as well. And then we have the Stay Active and Independent for Life, or SAIL. And this is another ongoing exercise program. It's offered 2 or 3 times a week for an hour long. And so in this class, this is our most exercise class. You start off with a warm-up, walking around, followed by aerobics, and then you go into balance exercises and strength exercises. So all of the participants will have their own set of weights. And then in the end, they will cool down with some stretching, and then they'll also do some education on how to prevent falls and maintain fit. So SAIL can accommodate people with a mild level of mobility difficulty as well. And then we have our Preventing Falls, which I will hand over to Rachel to cover.
We need a baton to pass. Yeah, so our Preventing Falls programs include stepping on, Tai Chi Chuan, moving for better balance, and a matter of balance. We'll talk about a matter of balance first. This program is ideal for any individual who's living independently but is concerned that a fall would impact their independence. This is an 8-week program that meets for 2 hours a week. And it's a mix of discussion, presentation, and exercise, and you see the breakdown there on the slide. This class is not an exercise class. It has an exercise component, and so there's 30 to 40 minutes of exercise included in sessions 3 through 8. The focus is really on helping to reduce the fear of falling helping participants to view falls as controllable and to change how they think about falling. So instead of, I can't go out for lunch today because there's ice on the ground and I'm afraid I'm gonna fall, changing that thought pattern to, I wanna go out for lunch today because I really enjoy spending time with my friends. I don't wanna fall, so I'm gonna call one of my friends to see if they will meet me at my apartment and we can walk down to the diner together. We also help in this class, help participants set realistic goals to increase their activity level, help them think about how they can change their environment to reduce the risk of falling by ensuring there's appropriate lighting or getting rid of throw rugs, and also help promote exercise. So encouraging participants that at any age, at any ability level, we can do some type of exercise to help us increase our strength, balance, and flexibility to reduce falls. Stepping On is a similar program. It meets 7 weeks for 2 hours. Stepping On has more guest speakers. There are physical therapists that come in to help participants with the exercises. There's also a vision expert that comes in to talk about vision and falling, a pharmacist that comes in to talk about medication management, and a community safety specialist to talk about being out and about in my community and how to prevent falls in that space. Other topics that are discussed are footwear and clothing issues, safety devices and adaptations, home hazards, bone health and sleeping better. There are those strength and balance classes. And again, the other professionals, the pharmacist, the vision specialist, and the home safety specialist. Tai Chi Chuan Moving for Better Balance does not have a discussion component like Stepping On and A Matter of Balance do. This is pure movement. That's why it's such a great program for non-English speaking participants. Pardon me. So this program focuses on 8 forms of adapted Tai Chi. The Tai Chi is adapted so that instead of having participants do really smooth, gradual movements, the movements are much more percussive, intentionally challenging participants to transition from stability to instability, thus increasing balance. So we're gonna do a quick demonstration of Tai Chi Chuan Moving for Better Balance. Joan's gonna help me adjust the camera, and I think we're also gonna take down the PowerPoint.
Okay. Is that okay, Rachel, or do you want?
You want it down a little bit more too.
Yeah, can you pan it down a little bit, Sequoia? There you go, because you can see. It's helpful to see my feet. You can see my ankles. We'll call that good.
More forward to your feet than your head?
I'm just so vertically gifted in order to do this stuff. Okay, so Tai Chi Chuan Moving for Better Balance. So I'm just gonna walk you through some of the key things that we talk about in the class. So usually in the class, we start out with some warm-ups. And all of these exercises, keep in mind, they can be done seated, standing, or chair-assisted, or stepping, which is great because you can have people in class who are maybe very physically limited, so they're seated the entire time. And we also have people who are mobile and active, engaging in the full range of activities. So I know in my class that I'm currently teaching, I have a few ladies that stay seated the entire time, and I also have people who are up and moving the entire time. And it's great because I just encourage the participants that we're all here to do what we can do. I'm not here to do more today than the person sitting next to me. I'm here to do more today than I was able to do last week. Hopefully some days I will be able to do that, some days I won't, but I'm just here to challenge myself within my balance and stability range. So when we do our warm-ups, we start with just some ankle sway movements. So I shift to the right leg and the left leg, and the right leg and the left leg. And you're welcome to do this with me. I know probably you won't because it feels a little weird, and that's okay. And then we grab our ball, and we shift our weight with our ball to the left and the right. And by doing this, I'm engaging my ankles, which is ankles are so important to react to terrain in our space to help reduce the risk of falling. And then we might do some shifting weight forward, keeping our feet flat on the ground, out to the side, I'll diagonally and back a little bit. Just working to engage within my realm of stability. So I'm only reaching forward until I feel myself at the edge of my stability, and then I go back. So those are the warm-ups, but we also have the adapted Tai Chi Quan moving for better balance form. So form number 1 is called move a ball. So I'll just demonstrate this form for you quickly. We begin in the starting position, so I have the ball on the right-hand side. My left heel is up off the ground. And then I wind up with a trunk rotation, shifting my weight around my right foot, and I have a quick step to the left. I then drop the ball, I push off, and I catch the ball on the left. You may not have noticed those percussive movements, so I'll point them out to you. Pardon me, I'm fighting a cold. Okay, so you wind up, then percussive quick step to the right, drop the ball, push off, catch the ball on the right.
Okay.
I don't know, I think I'm dying. I'm so sorry, okay. And those percussive movements, again, challenge people to go from stability to instability, improving the balance. And I think I need to end my demo.
That's okay.
Sorry.
Thank you. Oh, that was good. I'm gonna reshare the presentation then. There we are. Okay, Rachel stepped out, but thank you, Rachel. We'll tell her that she got back in. I know she said she's kind of fighting a cold, so yeah. Okay, so we'll just move on. Any questions about any of the programs so far that anyone has? Okay, so I'll just move on to kind of show you some of the things that we found with our program so far and some of the benefits that we've seen. So from the falls prevention programs and the exercise programs, we've seen 99% of people that have taken the class that they said they agreed that the program helped them prevent falls and continue to perform daily activities. So that's almost 100% said that. 97% of people who took the falls program said that the program helped them to manage stress and fatigue and to set and achieve goals. So really great things that we're seeing from those. After taking the program, participants have reported doing things like lifestyle changes after they've done the program. So 78% of people said that they did exercises that they learned in the program at home, which is huge. That's awesome. They weren't doing those exercises before, and now they learn them and they're doing them at home. 30% had their vision checked, 31% had their medications reviewed, 38% talked to a friend or family member about reducing the risk of falling, and then 48% made changes in their home to reduce the fear of falling. So switched out a rug or did whatever they did to prevent falls. And then some of the living well with chronic conditions, living well with diabetes and living well with chronic pain benefits include 99% of people said that the program helped them continue to perform daily activities and manage a chronic condition. 98% agreed that it helped them eat healthier. And then 96% of participants said that the program had helped them increase their physical activity and cope with emotions like depression. So really good things. Like I mentioned, I'm a leader in the Living Well with Chronic Conditions class, and I recently had taught a class, and the first session I had a woman come in who was very, I don't want to be here, I don't want to go to this class, and wasn't participating at all. And then throughout the session, she was kind of just making excuses, I'm not here for this, I'm here to support my friend. And then we just had our 5th session, and now she's completely turned around and she's participating, and she's really gone a long way. So it's good to see some of the things, the benefits of these programs, so firsthand. All right, and then I'll just quickly talk about the Juniper referral process. So if you as a care coordinator know someone or have a member that would benefit from one of these classes that we just mentioned, you can go on our website, yourjuniper.org, and refer them to a class. And I'll just quickly show you how to do that on our website. So the website is yourjuniper.org. At the top of the page, you have the Make a Referral tab. If you click that, you'll come up to this form here. So on this form, you can fill out the member's first and last name and phone number so we can contact them. If you know any other information about them, feel free to fill that out as well. The county that the member lives in, and then if you know the class that the person would benefit from, you can select the class here. Otherwise, we have more general groupings like a disease or pain management class. You know, if you're thinking, well, that's something they benefit from, but I'm not sure exactly what class. We also have falls prevention classes here. And then if you don't know, just say unknown as well. And the wellness engagement specialist right here will help sort that out. And then fill out your name, your first and last name, phone number, email, and then the relationship to the person being referred. If they are a member of yours and you're a care coordinator, you will select the health plan care coordinator. From here, selecting BlueCross. And then, of course, the relationship delegate here. Once you submit that referral, the program developer, and or wellness engagement specialist will reach out to that person, and they will work with them to determine what class works for them, with scheduling, with what they're interested in, and get them registered or whatever it might be. Okay, so again, just going to yourjuniper.org, completing the referral form and entering your role as a health plan care coordinator. And just to note here, you don't need to search for a specific class and enroll a member that way. We will actually do that for you here with Juniper and the Wellness Engagement Specialist, so you don't have to find a class and register them for that. You can just make a referral for any type of class, and then we'll reach out to them and contact them that way. Which goes right into our outreach process. I'll hand it over to Grace and Sequoia, who are wellness engagement specialists.
I'm gonna check the chat.
Oh, sure, we do have a question. Is there a comment field if the member needs rides to be set up? Right now, there is no comment field on the referral form, but when we do reach out to the participant, we will talk about ride share with them. Anything you guys want to add about that?
So we will, as you said, we will reach out to them, and then we will also send them Blue Ride's information. So we'll send them their a brochure, just let them know how to get in contact with them, and explain all the guidelines to Blue Ride. You're welcome. So we'll go ahead and talk about our outreach process. So as we begin to call our BlueCross, BlueShield, MSHO members, we kind of work through a workflow of calls where we're kind of getting on the phone with them. We're either signing them up for a class, or we are putting them on the wait list because there is no class within a certain range that they would like to travel. So we do get members who do not want to travel 5 to 10 miles outside of their limit, outside of their address. So we do put them on a wait list to see if we can get something out there closer to them. And so we just kind of work that process. And as we do work that process, when we are getting those yes, no's, maybes from the members, we do send an email out to each care coordinator. So as you may have already received emails from us, we have been sending emails saying, hey, we need your help enrolling this member, or we do not have any contact information on bio, can you share? And then we are looking for that from you. So we are sending emails after each scenario and just looking for feedback from you. And so just letting you know that the general content that we are getting from a member is if they are interested, if they're not, if they would like to be on the wait list, if they would need any additional information, and that we would mail out, that would be that Blue Ride information and any additional mailings from Juniper. Because we do get a lot that's like, nope, not right now. I do want to check more with my care coordinator, or can you send me more information about this specific class? And so that's where we would actually send that to them. And then we go in and I'll let Grace take over and she'll talk about exactly what we are looking for from our care coordinators.
Yeah, so like Sequoia said, we're reaching out to you after we have kind of completed our call process to the members. So as you can see, can you go back one second? So our first kind of scenario is when we speak directly to a member. So as Sequoia was saying, that's in the scenario of yes, no, maybe. So we'll be reaching out to you and saying, hey, this member is enrolled in a class. This is the specific class. We would simply ask that you respond to that email with I authorize so that we can move forward and having that be covered correctly with their Secure Blue benefit package. And that's really all that's needed with that yes. We would also ask that you, if you're able, do any follow-up with them after the fact with that class, just to check in, see how they liked it, possibly encourage them to enroll in another if it was something that was helpful and successful with them. The other scenario when speaking directly to a member is going to be a maybe. And so in that maybe scenario, we'll be reaching out to you, like Sequoia said, with the fact that this person wanted to check in with the care coordinator. They wanted to read a little bit more information first before they jumped. So maybe having your input and your kind of relationship that's already been built with that member to encourage and say, hey, I think this actually could be a great fit for you. Because we also understand on our side of things that we're kind of a stranger calling them and we don't have that established relationship and established trust. So we really do appreciate that you are that person for these members, and we would love to have your advocacy on your side of things when it comes to enrolling members. The other scenario we would be emailing you about after directly contacting a member is going to be that they said no. So when a member says no, sometimes it's completely understandable given their situation, given their ability, given their specific context. Other times it just might be that they're unfamiliar, they're not really wanting to chat with somebody over the phone, other things like that. So we may ask that you advocate on your end, seeing as when they say no, we accept that. We don't try to push. We're not salespeople. We're just advocating for these programs. So we won't be pushing or trying to call them again after they've given a no. We respect that response from them. So we would appreciate any advocacy on your end to fill out a referral if they do end up changing their mind, and just to kind of bring this option back up to them again, as we won't be reaching out in additional time. And then the other option here is that we've left 3 voicemails with them, or we've tried to contact them 3 times and no contact was made. After that point, we won't be reaching out again. That'll be kind of our cutoff, is those 3 attempts. So anything after that, we would really just be emailing you again to ask for your advocacy for these programs, if it's your belief that the person is a good fit for these classes. Of course, we understand that there are people that may not be the best fit for a Juniper class, and we understand and agree with that. So really your call there if this is something that you feel that you would be appropriate to advocate for this specific member. Our other scenario, our final scenario, is that we had attempted to contact them, but either the number was out of service, incorrect. I'm sure quite a few of you have received these emails from us as well, as it's always hard to keep updated information for individuals. So we may be reaching out to you to simply ask if you have updated contact information, or this number was out of service, or even there was a particular scenario that happened during this call that we'd love to have your input on. Because again, we kind of recognize you as the most knowledgeable and most comfortable and familiar with these members. So really just asking for your feedback and for your input with each of these scenarios in terms of what you think would be the best steps moving forward, as we really do kind of respect your perspective and your view on each of these members. And so we would be following, a guideline when we send you these outreach emails. And as I said, we would really appreciate any response that you're able to give to us. It can be short and sweet. You can go into as much detail as you want. We'll take anything we can get here in terms of your input and your perspective on these members. In these emails, they might seem a little long, but that's simply because we want to try to give you as much context as possible when informing you about the particular scenario that we're emailing regarding. In a lot of these emails, you'll see that we're also attaching care coordinator resources. So we'll have links to a training webinar, an instruction sheet, a brochure. So all these different details and information in case you're forgetting anything about Juniper, our services, you want additional context to really be sure that this person is a great fit for the classes. You can always look to those resources attached to the bottom of the email to make sure that you're kind of doing the best referral for that individual. So that's kind of our outlook, our perspective, and kind of our process for reaching out to you. And we truly do appreciate any communication that you're able to make time for with us, as it really helps our process and our understanding of the members that we are doing outreach with. And you can always feel free to send us feedback via email and let us know, hey, this email works for me, or it'd be more helpful if you gave me this information. Anything like that, we would be more than happy to hear from you, as we are always developing, changing, and growing our process here. Is anything to add, Sequoia?
No, I think you covered it.
Cool.
Does anyone have any questions about the wellness engagement specialist processes, any of the classes that we've talked about, Blue Rhine, anything in general that we can have answered for you? Otherwise, I think that's the end of our presentation. I'm trying to open chat here. It looks like we had some chats, but I won't be able to. Oh, okay, so we do have some chats. Where are all of these classes in East Grand Forks, Minnesota? Okay. So if you're ever interested in what's going on in your area, you can always go to yourjuniper.org, and then I don't know the zip code for East Grand Forks, but you can enter the zip code here. So I'll just enter Minneapolis. That's what I know. And then this will actually bring up a list of classes within the area, or if there are no classes in that area. So that's something that you can use as a resource to see what's going on in your area.
Mm-hmm. And if you don't see a lot of classes in your area or in your members' area at this time, know that classes are scheduled throughout the year. The classes are usually scheduled 30 to 60 days before they start. So and that's part of what the wellness engagement specialists are helping us with, is identify where are the Blue Cross Blue Shield MSHO members, and then maybe we don't have classes in those areas. And then Sequoia and Grace communicate that back out to the regional program developers to let us know which parts of the state we need to focus on growing more classes.
Yeah, and I think you basically just answered the next question. There's only one class available within 30 miles of our area. Do you know that prior to calling MSHO members? And the answer is yes.
The idea of still contacting them if there's not a lot of class availability in their area is to be able to get them on the wait list and be able to show evidence of interest in that area. I always feel guilty when I call those members because I know going into it that there's not really a class in their area, but the only way that we can really truly make some moves to get that class developed is to be able to kind of see and be able to garner interest for that class to be able to develop that for the future. So yes, we would see that, and yes, we would still reach out to them with the intention of being able to then create more interest in that specific city and get a class moving forward there in the future.
Mm-hmm. And we have regional program developers around the state of Minnesota. I'm one of them. Sarah's in the back of the room. She's another program developer. Many of them are listening in on this webinar today as well. And know that we are reaching out to the care coordinator teams around the state to set meetings with them, either in person or over the phone, to talk about, to start building those relationships so that you can reach out to us if you identify a need in a specific area for more classes. But also don't hesitate to make referrals if you don't see a class, because when we have those referrals come in, that helps us identify where we need to start start getting some classes scheduled. And even if we have 3 people interested in a class within a 30-mile radius, we'll still work to get a class scheduled for them.
Another question was, are classes offered in other languages besides Spanish? And the answer is yes. If you have a certain or specific language that you are interested in, you can also reach out to your regional program developer to see what classes are going to be offered in the area. And then online also, there's many times we'll say in the comment section, this class is taught in Korean or whatever it might be. So yes, there are many different languages.
Yeah, your regional program developer will know which organizations are offering classes in different languages. And that referral piece, that's really where the partnership between the care coordinators and the Juniper team comes in. And I'll just know that sometimes people, the members that you're talking to, they might not say yes to these programs the first time you mention the programs to them, but over time, as we continue to talk to them about these programs, they start to get a little bit more interested. It's kind of like anything new and exciting that is a great opportunity for people. It takes a little while to get some buy-in, and members want to hear from their trusted care coordinator because they do respect and appreciate your insight.
Yeah, we had a couple referrals come in from care coordinators already, so thank you for that. And yeah. Any other questions? We either do the question and answer or the chat. I want to hear you in the chat.
Mm-hmm.
Should we bring up?
So there's another one right there. Would you be able to send out the PowerPoint?
Yeah, we can send out the PowerPoint after the presentation, yep. And this is also recorded as well, so we'll send both.
See if any other chats come in.
I see a note in the chat from one of our regional program developers, just indicating that the East Grand Forks Senior Center does offer classes.
Oh, okay, yeah.
So I just know that the zip code is 56721.
So it looks like there's a matter of balance being held at the Riverview Health Home Care Building in Crookston, which is 20 miles away from East Grand Forks.
So it looks like the East Grand Forks Senior Center doesn't have any classes scheduled at this time, but they are a Juniper Network member, so they will schedule classes throughout the year.
I think they might have one going on right now.
Sure.
I remember I registered a participant for a class in East Grand Forks.
That's an important call out, Grace, is the classes that are currently in session are viewable on the website. Only the ones that are coming up. How big are the classes? Class size ranges. They typically, we try to keep 8 as a minimum, and then they can be as big as, I think, 16, kind of depends on the program. And how long are the wait lists? Wait lists are dependent on the organization. Different organizations have different wait lists that they encounter. I had one organization here in Ramsey County that had significant demand for waitlist programs, so they ended up offering 2 classes instead of 1. But if the class is full, we try to have the organization connect back with the program developer, so the program developer can assist in recommending other classes that are going on in that same program for those participants that are interested.
And then in terms of how long are the wait list, I think the wait list kind of name can be a little bit deceiving in that it's not so much of classes being full and participants needing to wait before they can enroll in a class that's full, because I feel like most of the time we do have the capacity to add more members, but it's more with the intention of the class that you wanted isn't in your region, or just travel-wise, distance-wise, there's not a class that's available to you. So the wait list is really with the intention of being able to track those individuals and then be able to reach out to them when a class does come up in their area so that we can notify them and let them know, hey, that Tai Chi class you've been waiting for to happen in Farmington is finally happening. We're here. And then be able to kind of reach out to them, let them know, and then get them enrolled. So it's not so much the classes are full, but more the class that they're looking for in their area doesn't exist yet. So being able to kind of track and build on our side of things to be able to present that to those people.
And Joan, we've been talking a lot about the regional program developers. Do you think we could show them where to find their regional program developer on the website?
Sure. So if you go to the About page and you find your county here, it'll take you to a regional program developer page or regional page, which will also show the regional program developer. And you can find their contact information here. You can also email info@yourjuniper.org. And that is on the bottom of our website here. And you can call this toll-free number as well, and we will connect you to a representative in your area. There's another chat. It looks like, how would it be more helpful if when you call people in areas that don't have classes to offer, that maybe you presented such as, we have a new program to offer. We currently don't have any classes in your area, so we're calling just to see if there's any interest in your area. Is this something you may be interested in if we offer other classes in the future? This way folks aren't waiting for something that's not available. I think that's a great idea.
That's a great idea.
I think that's great input. I think that's usually something we get to a little further along in the call, but to kind of present that as the ask in the beginning could be a really great way to set kind of the correct expectation for the call itself, and kind of a great introduction to further conversation about if they know other people that might be interested as well. So I think that's really great feedback. Thank you. We can definitely bring that to the table here and how we approach that conversation.
There was just a suggestion, Sequoia, to, if there's not a class in the area, call them and kind of ask, we're thinking about having this class, would this be something you're interested in and gauge interest? Okay. Good feedback. Right. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Well, as soon as I say something, I feel like another question comes in. But
Any other questions? Concerns,
Yeah.
boundaries, emotional outbursts?
We will email this presentation and this recording out, and if you have any other questions or anything that comes up, again, we have the info@yourjuniper and this toll-free number to help answer any questions as well. So, Georgia, maybe let them know we want to hear what their members are saying. Yep, so if you have any feedback from your members about the processes or mailings that they receive, calls they're receiving, anything like that, again, let us know your feedback as well. Yeah. Okay, well, thank you everyone for joining us today. Anything else to add here? No, thank you. Okay. Have a good rest of your Wednesday, and we will be in touch. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.